Alrighty. I've been chilling here for a hot minute. Alright. Yeah, okay. Alrighty. Hold on. One moment. I forgot something. Hey, Will. Whoa. It's a lot brighter in here all of a sudden. For good reason. Alright. Excuse me. Okay. So I'm just gonna hold on. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna get through it. I want to watch this video. I want to watch. Okay. Summoning Salt: The History of Super Mario 64 16-star World Records. All right. Should be able to be heard. If not, I'd thank you to let me know. I wonder if I don't know if Clint Stevens. I don't know how good he is at this. Like it slips my mind.
Super Mario 64 16-star. It's the most popular category and the most popular speed game of all time.
Whoa!
Holding a record
I didn't even know that.
Toughest accomplishments. Ridiculous glitches.
Oh yeah, no, there's so many. Ugh.
Both requirements for a world record.
Speedrunning this game looks like so much fun.
Just a lucky few have been able to call themselves a record holder, and with the incredible level of competition, it's hard to hold on to it for long. But let's take a look at those gamers and see how they did it. This is the history of the 16-star world record.
God, I fucking love summoning salt intros. They're so good. Let me make sure that it's heard. It's able to be heard, right? If not, I can turn it up. Hold on. That should be good, right? Yeah, that should be good. I'll turn it down a bit, actually.
Super Mario 64 has 120 stars you can collect. There are speedrun categories that involve collecting all of them. However, the developers
sorry.
only required you to collect 70 of them.
There are no captions.
That's
I was going to turn
how
on.
many you needed to make it up the endless staircase and into the final stage. For years, 70 stars was the minimum needed to beat Super Mario 64.
And that definitely didn't last. They beat that by 54.
Release, that number suddenly dropped to 50.
Oh?
Eventually, it was lowered again, this time to 31.
Okay.
And in 2004,
I didn't know that it got lowered slowly like that, actually.
Super Mario 64 could now be completed in under half an hour. And in the summer of 2004, the first 16-star speedruns of Mario 64 were...
That was before I was born.
There were a handful of records set over the...
16-star speedruns started just like a few months before I was born. That feels cursed. That feels so cursed.
Course of a few months, from players like Cyberwrath and Christina Korsak. But the dust settled a bit when a runner named Illudude set a big record. In November 2004, he beat the game with 16 stars in 21 minutes and 56 seconds.
That's a damn quick time in my opinion. I think that's like what Ludwig gets. That's around what Ludwig gets.
Speedrun is to collect 8 stars, which unlocks the first Bowser level, Bowser in the Dark World. He got the first star by going into Bob-omb Battlefield and ground pounding.
Oh, and then that he didn't do that strat. He didn't do that strat. Okay. I'm interested to see. I'm really interested to see when certain strats do get implemented, because I know about a few. Like, when did Cannonless get added, and when did that strat where you use the Bob-omb to get through the bars get added? I'm curious to see when strats get added and when people learn about them. I'm really curious about that.
64 is the long jump, so Illudude chained these together over and over whenever he could. Next, he went into Whomp's fortress to collect 5 more stars. He got the first 2 by going to the top of the stage, defeating Whomp, and then climbing to the top of the fortress. He then quickly got the star on the ledge
this
by
run
side
is
flipping.
so different than
Then
what I've
opened
seen.
the cannon, used it to blast away the wall, and shot himself into the star to collect it. A slow process that ate up around half a minute. Finally,
I love that it's like a slow process. This is a game that is supposed to take hours, even like different days upon your time when you're first getting into it, you know, when it was released. And a slow process is half a minute, and you collected 4 stars. Oh my god.
he got picked up by the owl to fall into the cage and collect another star.
Yeah, no,
That
I'm
put his
curious to
total
one day
at
add the
6
strat
stars.
to like
The
not have
remaining
to use the
2
owl.
came from sliding down Peach's slide to collect both stars, despite a bit of slow movement along the way. Illudude was then able to enter Bowser in the Dark World, where he used long jumps all over to move through the stage. It took 2
I want
throws
to
get
learn to
Bowser with
speedrun this
Bomb,
game so
but
bad.
eventually he got the job done. Now that he could go into the basement, Illudude's next goal was to collect 7 more stars to allow Mips the rabbit to appear. The first 2 stars came from shifting Sandland, where he got 1 from quickly jumping at the top of the pyramid, and the other from slowly waiting on top of a pillar for a bird to arrive. The next 2 came from Lethal Lava Land, where Illudude boiled the big bully and collected 8 red coins. His movement wasn't ideal in any of these sections.
Yeah, no, it's
as
so
his
weird to
only
watch
real
this,
strategy for
because
movement-
like the movement is interesting, because like it's bad movement compared to like now. It's like over a decade ago, right? The movement is so bad. Like I was oh my god, I'd been alive for like a month when this video when this speedrun was made. That in my lifetime. Oh my god, that's so interesting. That like that's really cool. But like movement becomes so much more refined. Like I didn't even notice. Did he do Lakitu skip? Did he even do Lakitu skip? I don't even know. I don't even know if he did that.
fast was to long jump whenever he could. Finally, the last 3 stars came from collecting the Toad Star, then heading into Hazy Maze Cave, getting the emergency exit star, and the Watch for Rolling Rock star.
Yeah, that's such a different.
Now,
That's a really different
Illudude had
pathway.
15 stars, which spawned Mips the rabbit.
Okay.
Normally, you can just grab him for a star, but Illudude was going to use him for a trick discovered by Dom Dunk a few months prior. This was the key to beating the game with 16 stars. The first step is getting Mips through this door. By
Okay,
putting him
so
down
this
right
already
in front
exists.
of it, then
People
going
do this.
through the door,
People do this so much
quickly
quicker
jump
now.
back and stand inside the door. From there, you can pick up Mips, turn around, and place him on the other side. Then you want to take Mips to this door, which you normally need 30 stars to pass through.
But you can
By
use Mips
placing
to
him
go
in front
through
of
it.
you can jump between Mips and the door.
Oh,
to get
that's
pushed
so
through it,
interesting.
skipping the 30-star requirement.
Oh my god.
The Mips clips could be difficult to perform, but if done properly, they would save many minutes off a Super Mario 64 speedrun. After this, Illudude went into Dire Docks, collected the submarine star to unlock Bowser in the Fire Sea, and went through it as fast as he could. Once again, it took him 2 throws to defeat Bowser, but he now had the second key. It was time to head upstairs, where he was about to perform probably the most iconic trick in Super Mario 64 speedrunning, the backwards long jump. This trick was popularized in a November 2000 edition of Nintendo Power magazine, but it's quite likely Nintendo knew about it as early as 1997, since that year they released an updated version of Super Mario 64 in Japan that made the trick impossible.
What?
When you do a long jump but hold the stick
So
backwards,
lame.
the game gives Mario a slight boost of speed. It normally snaps back to normal quickly after, but if you land fast enough, like on stairs,
Okay,
it's
I thought it was
preserved so
frozen.
you can do another backwards long jump.
And
Jumping
then you
over and over,
continuously just
it's
go.
possible
Yeah,
to catch
yeah.
Mario in a loop where
Oh,
his
that's
speed
so cool.
continuously builds up. he can keep going faster and faster.
Like, the funniest thing is that I've seen Ludwig do this, right? And it looks like Ludwig is going super slow, but Ludwig is one of the fastest mashers in the world. So he's literally going too fast for the game to register all of them. So if the game was fast enough, he would go so quickly. Oh my god.
If your speed builds fast enough, it's possible to be on one side of wall on one frame and the other side on the next. And that means if you mash correctly, you can backwards long jump and fly through doors.
Whoever found this, that's so cool.
Illudude performed this on both the 50-star door and the Endless Staircase, bypassing the requirements for 50 and 70 stars respectively. Then, it was a matter of making it through Bowser in the sky and hitting Bowser with 3 bombs at the end. It took him 6 throws, but it was enough to finish with a time of 21:56, world record by a significant margin. This run was pretty good for 2004, given how new the MIPS clips and BLJs were. However, as noted before, the movement left much to be desired, and some tricks took several tries. And about 6 months later, a player named Kirby Carter would lower it by about a minute.
Oh no, this is gonna get so lowered so consistently.
But was still mostly using long jumps. He didn't miss as many throws on Bowser, and was able to get the BLJs extremely quickly. However, the biggest revolution introduced in this run was the new, more reliable version of the MIPS clips. For the first one, by dropping MIPS on the seam between the door and the wall, Mario gets pushed forward and becomes stuck inside the door. The rest of the trick can be completed as before. For the second clip, it's the same process as the first clip, but instead of getting stuck in the door, Mario gets pushed through all the way to the other side. These clips were both faster and more consistent than before, becoming the clear methods to use. So, going into mid-2005,
I'm super interested to see, like, at which point it switches from, like, new tactics to, like, just people starting to just get so good with the movement and everything.
Early runs recorded on VHS with primitive strategies, followed by improvements in big chunks.
That's so great. This is recorded on VHS.
However,
goddamn.
After this point,
this is recorded on VHS. This is recorded on the same format that I watched, like, the Air Bud volleyball movie on when I was little. That's insane.
The 16-star history takes a bit of a turn.
That's crazy to me.
For the next several years, there would be 2 major caveats in the timeline. First, cheated or faked runs would be illegitimately on top of the leaderboard for more than 80% of the next decade.
God.
For most games, cheated runs do occasionally happen, but rarely does it affect the record timeline as substantially as it did for 16-star. So,
that's so
the
lame.
fastest runs from legitimate players will be included in this video instead. And second, although most runs had video proof when performed, records before 2013 have very little video surviving today, and some of the surviving stuff is very low quality. Many runs were live streamed at the time, but the videos weren't saved. There were also many emulator records at this time, but since they reduce lag and aren't kept on the same leaderboard as console runs, they won't be included in this video. It's a bit tricky to analyze runs from this period, but we'll work with what we can. After Kirby Carter's 2046, a player named Le Coureur 103 would wrap...
The French! Wait, no, is that French? Is that a French word? Hold on. Is that French? Fuck. Translate. Tech language. Le Coureur. Run it. Yeah, no, that's French. I mean, while that's a cool name, Correr, the runner. His name is literally the runner. That's actually really cool. Yeah, wait, hold on. Did I misspell that? Yeah, I misspelled it, but still, that's cool. That never mind. I was gonna get pissed because it was French, but it's actually just a cool name. Okay, the Runner 103. That means there's like the runners in French.
Rapidly lower the record
But like, I
down
mean,
to
that's still
1908
cool.
over the course of 2005. He posted his times on the Speed Demos Archive forum, but videos for these runs seem to have never made it online. So, despite lowering the record by a minute and a half, there's not much to analyze.
Damn.
Then, by 2009, the record scene moved to Japan. Through August 2009, 4 players set a record: Sho, Shigeru, Cass, and Taka. Most of these runs don't have surviving video, and the ones that do were live streamed with 2009 levels of quality.
Damn.
So instead, we'll skip to December 2009, when we finally get a run with a clean video feed from Taka. Remember, Kirby Carter had gotten a 20-minute run in 2005, and there were allegedly 19-minute runs later that year. What did Taka get in 2009?
Like an 18-minute run?
How about a run clocking in at 17
Whoa!
seconds? To put it bluntly,
Damn.
this record was on another level.
Damn. Ah! He's finally... Okay, they're finally doing that. Oh shit. Okay.
The amount of tricks, the level of optimization, everything about Taka's run was miles ahead of runs from years prior. Truth be told, there had been many new strategies slowly implemented in runs over the years, but they all came together in Taka's record. And they started literally right when the game begins. Normally, once you reach the middle of the bridge, Lakitu stops you for a cutscene.
Oh, finally Lakitu skip.
On the very edge of the bridge railing, Taka was able to skip the trigger for the
cutscene
and save about 7 seconds.
Okay.
Once he went inside, however, the run really started to take off. This was thanks in part to a handful of major new tricks. Kirby Carter's run from 2005 was good, but Taka had some tricks up his sleeve that changed everything. Trick number 1. In Bob-omb Battlefield, Taka performed the bomb clip. By activating the bomb and getting pushed by it toward the gate, you can precisely jump before it explodes, getting pushed through the gate to collect the star. This saves close to 10 seconds over the standard method. Taka then went to Whomp's Fortress and performed trick number 2, a legendary one known as Cannonless. The normal process for getting the Blast Away the Wall star is slow, and involves opening the cannon, jumping in it, shooting at the wall, and landing to collect the star. However, this can all be skipped by performing Cannonless, where you just run at the wall in the perfect spot and collect the star without blasting away the wall.
Damn, that was so fast.
20 seconds over using the cannon, which is huge, but the issue is the precision involved. You need to hit the exact right spot in the wall for this to work, so that Mario grabs the ledge the star is on top of, and his hitbox moves up to intersect with the star.
That is impressive.
Even taking time to set up the trick didn't help very much. The most skilled players struggled to hit the trick more than about 20% of the time. 16-star runs were transformed with Cannonless. You had a couple shots to get it, but if you failed, you'd have to reset.
Yeah.
So now, most runs wouldn't make it past the 2.5 minute mark. Thankfully, Taka hit Cannonless first try.
That's insane.
Just so he could go and perform trick number 3 immediately after. By triple jumping and wall kicking off the cage perfectly, you could fall in it without having to use the owl. It only saved around 6 seconds.
But that's still
Owless
impressive.
Became a staple of 16-star runs as well. Another
every second
upgrade
counts.
for Taka was his movement. Older runs had just used long jumps, but Taka carefully selected his moves to optimize the speed of each section. Diving was used all over for short speed boosts. while long jumps still had their place for longer straight sections.
Yeah.
This upgraded movement could particularly be seen in Bowser in the Dark World, where Taka
That
varied
is
his
so
movement all
risky.
over to collect
That's
8
so
red points
risky.
for
Oh my
initial start.
god.
The back half was clean too. Fast mips.
I'm not used to seeing that risky because I watch like contests where they do not do that risky of movement because you could lose it all. Meanwhile, you can just start over here and there's not like on the line like that. But oh my god, that looks so risky.
Clips and BLJs helped save some additional time. However, the run definitely wasn't without its faults. He had some slip-ups, like here in Lethal Lava Land,
Damn.
and he missed the throw on Bowser at the very end.
Damn.
But thanks to the upgrades in movement, strategies,
He
and
made up
overall
for it.
execution,
Nice.
Taka's run was more than 3 minutes faster than the early records. Super Mario 64 speedruns were about to enter a new era. Gone were the days of infrequent records with suboptimal strategies. Over the next year and a half, the record would be broken nearly a dozen times.
Damn.
Most of the videos for these records didn't survive, but the few we do have show gameplay far ahead of its time. The two dominant record holders for this era were Taka and Shigeru. They took turns lowering the record into the low 17s.
I love
before
that.
Shigeru broke the sub-17 barrier with a 16.54.
Damn, that's such a good.
But when Taka
That's such a
took the
good
record
decrease.
back with a 16.52,
Oh.
he had a trick up his sleeve. LBLJ. LBLJ
Long?
stands for Lobby Backwards Long Jump. And
Lot.
its origins can be traced to an October 2006 video where Mr. Robert Z jumped up from below and grabbed an exposed ledge. He theorized that you could then possibly do a backwards long jump. And it turns out he was right. A tool-assisted runner named Mijitsu showed it off in a TAS a month later, and it was eventually adopted by runners. By backwards long jumping into the basement ceiling, which extends upwards, you can land and repeatedly jump to build speed. You then land in a black area outside the front door with a lot of speed still built up. Then, you rotate the camera precisely to steer Mario's speed toward the 8-star door. If done properly, Mario will shoot through it and land next to the entrance for Bowser in the Dark World. This ultimately saves time because many of the 8 stars needed to open the door are slow, like ground-pounding Womp 3 times. By ignoring the 8-star requirement, players could now just get the key right away, collect 3 fast stars in Womp's Fortress, and head straight to the basement.
Nice.
It saved half a minute overall. Armed with LBLJ, Shigeru would continue to grind 16-star in 2010 and 2011. He would pull away from Taka, lowering the record deeper into the 16s.
Like fucking 40 seconds to 22 seconds is such a large jump. Oh my god. God, and it took months for that.
While optimizing his movement and tricks along the way. It was starting to feel inevitable that somebody would break the 16-minute barrier.
That's so... I love the fact that at some point it seems impossible that, like, you could even get this far and then people just break that. Oh my god.
But as it turns out, the first person to get a sub-16 wouldn't be Shigeru. It wouldn't be Taka either.
Damn.
In fact, it wasn't anyone who had set a 16-star record before.
Oh.
In August 2011, someone else broke through with a 1554.
Damn.
And his name was Matt Turk.
Okay.
Nah, I'm just kidding. It was Akira.
Who the fuck is
Akira's
Matt Turk?
Run was a
Okay,
culmination-
pause. Who the fuck is Matt Turk? Who the fuck is Matt Turk? It seems Matt Turk is a punch out speedrunner. Okay, okay. That's an interesting that's interesting.
Of strategies that have been slowly developed over the years. It started with LBLJ. He got it very
This is
clean,
7 years later.
rotating the
Literally
camera
7 years
draw
later.
Mario in Bowser in the Dark World. After collecting 8 red coins in the key, he got Cannonless first try, Owlless, and the side flip star, making all 3 of these stars seem effortless. In Lethal Lava Land, he boiled the big bully, got a couple stars in the volcano, got the log rolling star via a precise triple jump wall kick, and got 8 red coins. These 5 stars were all relatively quick, the longest one taking only about 20 seconds.
Damn.
He then went into Shifting Sandland, got the star in the top of the pyramid, then bounced off a snippet to get the bird star early. In Hazy Maze Cave, he triple jumped to get into the dinosaur room quickly, then grabbed the emergency exit and rolling rock stars. The MIPS clips were about perfect, and in Dire Dire Docks, Akira went for the risky front sub to save a couple seconds. He tore through Bowser in the Fire Sea, barely making a fast cycle.
Damn.
Both the backwards long jumps were instantaneous, and he nailed every Bowser throw to wrap up a sub-16-minute run.
Ugh.
This seemed like it would be the last minute barrier ever broken in 16 star. There simply wasn't enough time to save to take it past 15 minutes. That being said, there was still some room to take it lower into the 15s. About 6 months later, Batora would grab the record for the first time with a 15:52, losing a bit of time to bad movement.
God,
early,
I don't know what I love
time at
more,
the end with a
like
cleaner
seeing
Bowser in
someone.
the sky.
I don't know if I love seeing like people who've been speedrunning continuously break their record over and over, or seeing a new person. Because like seeing someone new pop up in the scene is just so cool. Like thinking about how long they've been practicing, how long they've been working towards that. That's just super cool to think about.
Not to be outdone, Akira would beat him by a full 8
Let's
seconds
go.
in April 2013, thanks to a fast LBLJ at the start and tearing through the other BLJs. This 1544 would then stand on top of the leaderboard for the next 2 years. That's an incredibly long time for a category as competitive as 16 star. There were a few reasons this happened, but one really big reason is a trick about 3 minutes into the run. I'm talking, of course, about Cannonless. It was a pretty big blow when 2/3 of your runs would die to the same trick right at the start. There wasn't a way around it. You either got Cannonless, or you reset. For years, Cannonless had been ending record runs before they could really begin.
Damn.
And it helped lead the stretches like this, where no world records were set for many months. If someone could just figure out a way to set it up consistently, to grab the star every time, it would open up so many new doors in 16 star. And in October 2014, that's exactly what Sockfolder did. Sockfolder is a speedrunning legend. He's found revolutionary setups for tricks in Ocarina of Time, Luigi's Mansion, even the original Super Mario Bros. Once he sets his mind to figuring something out,
Very
he's
interesting.
usually able to do so. This time, it was a way to solve Cannonless. On October 8th, 2014, he came out with this complicated setup. You would grab the ledge, pull yourself up, punch twice, reset the camera, walk straight down, adjust the camera, pull yourself up, backflip, punch, walk straight down again, reset the camera again, then pull yourself up and walk down. If all this was done properly, you would grab the star every single time.
Damn.
The obvious problem with this was how slow it was. Even if done quickly, the setup cost 10 seconds over normal Cannonless.
Damn.
That's a significant amount of time in a run like 16 star. But luckily, later the same day, runners DefTech and Gothic Logic would find an improvement. You didn't actually have to do the first part of the setup. You could skip straight to jumping on the ledge next to the
Oh, that's really good.
then perform the setup from there. This meant you'd only lose 6 seconds instead of 10.
Nice.
Which was a bit more reasonable. And the whole process still lined you up perfectly to grab the ledge and collect the star. It's no exaggeration to say that cannonless setup was one of the biggest finds in speedrunning history. Those 2/3 of runs that died at cannonless were now gone. It now had a near 100% success rate. This gave the record so much more potential, since without having to reset as much early, players could focus on optimizing the rest of the run. So, throughout 2015, a handful of runners were gunning for the record. And what resulted was a mad dash to push the record down as much as possible.
Got it! Oh, what the?
$15.29. Ooh. Akira's still at it. Pillarless? Damn. 28. Bad run? Oh my god. Oh shit. Damn.
By May 2016, Zaya had taken the record all the way to 1524. A run with a really fast LBLJ, nearly every trick hit throughout the stages, and fast BLJs to boot. The only real noticeable slowdowns were a slow start to Pillarless and getting bad boulder luck in Hazy Maze Cave. A very impressive record given how many tricks were now in the run. And incredibly, this record too would stand for nearly 2 years.
Damn.
But eventually, a couple of new runners began to get really low times. Their personal bests dropped below 16 minutes, eventually into the 1540 range. And it became evident that both of them were going to make a push for the record. This is Aki and Ouija. In November 2017, Aki got on a run that had potential. A great LBLJ, pillarless, cannonless. After getting the second key, he was on pace for a 1525, but could potentially get as low as 1518 if he matched his best last split ever. A record by 6 seconds. It was all gonna come down to the BLJs.
Damn. Yo? Yo? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yo!
They were decent.
They were
but
alright.
Not good enough for
I was scared he wasn't gonna make him at
Aki
all.
would finish with a 1528,
Oh.
4 seconds behind Zaya. But a few months later, he'd have another shot at it.
Oh.
4 seconds ahead of his last run. He once again needed good BLJs.
How are these? Let's go. Let's go. Oh, that's so much better. That's so much better. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Oh, that was solid.
This time, it was good enough. A 1522. Beating Zaya
Holy
by
shit.
2 seconds and making Aki the new record holder.
Damn. I love that excitement. That's so good.
But a few days later, it was Ouija's turn.
Ooh. Shit. We good? Alright, okay. Oh, just making sure my stream isn't down.
I did it! I did it!
Damn. That is very impressive.
I did it, man.
Ah, my seat was down. Damn. Okay. That is so impressive. 15-17.
This was the first ever sub.
That's sub
15-20
15-20? Oh my god.
One new trick he and Aki were using was in Womp's Fortress, where he used a new
Holy shit. What's up?
setup for cannonless called Texture Setup that had been theorized years prior by Snowman. Instead of using Sockfolder's long setup, Ouija just lined up Mario's feet with a texture in the side of the plank and went for it. It wasn't as consistent as the
Shit, it's not loading very quickly.
normal setup,
Sorry.
but it was faster and still more consistent than no setup at all.
Yeah.
Compromises like this had to be made now that the remaining time saves were disappearing. He gained some time over Aki with a cleaner lethal lava land, but lost some in Bowser in the Fire Sea. His BLJs were excellent, but he had a slight mistake at the end of Bowser in the Sky. Although the run had some downfalls, it was still a record by 5 seconds. Not to be outdone, Aki would fire back 6 months later with a 15-16. He messed up the triple jump in Hazy Maze Cave, and his Fire Sea had a slow ending. He made up the time over Ouija, however, with a faster Mips grab while standing, and cleaning up his mistake in Bowser in the Sky. He also threw Bowser a bit faster each time, saving a fraction of a second per throw. At this point, when the record was lowered, it was typically only by a second or maybe a few seconds at most. When records get as precise as 16 star, where players have done tens of thousands of runs each, taking time off in big chunks was pretty much out of the question. But incredibly, just 3 weeks after his 15-16, Aki was in position to do just that.
Shit. You gonna load? Hello? Alright, cool. Fucking hell. Are you It's being really fucking weird.
As always, it came down to the BLJs. No pressure.
Sorry. Just gonna trying to.
This was it. An unbelievable chance to make history. He just had to make it through Bowser in the Sky, hit all 3 of the throws, and he'd be golden.
Damn. Ah, shit, did he miss the third? No, he got it. It's so close to a sub 15. That's so close to a sub 15. Oh my god.
A 15:08 was the largest cut off the record in more than 3.5 years.
It's fucking crazy.
A near perfect run from start to finish. The mistakes in Hazy Maze Cave and Fire Sea were cleaned up, and his movement overall was...
What the fuck? Alright. Just gonna put it on. Already. Hope that helps.
Optimized for time saves too. As you'd expect, this run stayed at the top of the leaderboard for a long time.
How long?
6 months later, it was still in first.
Damn.
Second place, was 8 seconds behind.
Mm.
Nobody was getting close to it. To have a realistic chance at beating this, you'd need new strats.
Yeah.
The old ones had just about
Yeah.
completely been optimized. As good as Aki was, it would help to change his approach if he wanted to take the record on.
Yeah. Okay.
Under 1508. So, as 2019 came around, he looked into what else he could do to save time.
New strat time? Alright. I don't remember the run well enough to know how it changes from here.
First, there was Canonless. Texture setup was great, but it lost a few seconds over
Please.
just
It's being lame as fuck.
runless. First, there was Canonless. Texture setup was great, but it lost a few seconds over just running at the wall and praying. So, Aki decided that he needed to give up the consistency of the setup and go back to normal Canonless. The
Fair enough.
same awful, brutal trick that killed 2/3 of all runs years prior.
Well, I mean,
This was obviously a really
he's already
tough
got the
move,
world record.
but the run was getting so optimized that it was worth it. Second, Aki went for a faster setup for Pillarless. Developed by Tama, you would do the jump dive on the hill instead of going over the top. This enabled you to get hands-free quicker, and allow the trick to begin sooner than before. With these setups in mind, Aki kept doing attempts. On May 10th, the new time saves helped him be 6 seconds ahead of the record early. He would bleed some of this time in Fire Sea, but good BLJs kept him well ahead. 3 Bowser throws later, Aki had done it again.
Damn.
世界じゃあ次14行くぞ
That's so fucking close to a sub 15.
Incredibly,
Yo, wait, hold on, what? Ludwig? What year is this? I don't even know. I don't know if it's actually Ludwig.
incredibly, this record put Aki 12 seconds ahead of anyone else on the leaderboard. And he didn't stop there. He kept doing attempts for a lower record. He even had paces multiple seconds ahead of the 1504, but every time, something would kill it. But in late 2019, Aki would finally get some competition at the top of the leaderboard. And this particular runner certainly had credentials. He was both the 0-star and 1-star record holder. He was one of the best in the world at optimizing fast movement. And his name was Dowski.
Oh, he was there earlier. He had second for a while.
Dowski had previously held the 16-star record before, getting a 15-16 the day before Aki got his incredible 15-0.
I wish the buffer would just keep up. Huh.
Wait. However, this time he wanted something more. A record that would last for a while. Even though his personal best was a few seconds behind Aki, he knew he had the skill to keep up with him. So, Dowski's record attempts began, and on November 17th, he got on a run that fell behind early thanks to missing canvas on the first try. However, he more than made up that time with a faster fire seat. Including a different strategy at the end where he avoided jumping on the edge of the stage. He had a 4-second lead over the record. This actually had sub-15 potential.
Damn.
But as always, the BLJs stood in the way.
It's not the worst BLJ. Shit. Yo.
They weren't great, but his best possible time was still 1 second ahead of the record. If he could tear through the stage, he'd have a chance.
I don't think I got it.
As it turns out, it would be record by just over a tenth.
Holy shit.
For the first time in a year, Aki was no longer the record holder.
Damn.
With so many times being set in short succession, 16 star as a category was flourishing. There was really only one problem. At this point, it had been almost 2 years since someone with a funny username had set a record. In recent months, there had been Aki and Dowski, but to get a good one, you have to go back to Ouija and his 1517, and even that one's not amazing compared to the likes of 420 Blaze It and Shivering Erotic King Banana. Well, in early 2020, someone wanted to rectify
Damn,
that.
this is so recent.
He started moving up on the leaderboards, going from 5th to 3rd place right behind the two 1504s. And shortly thereafter, he would end up taking the top spot. And the runner's name certainly didn't disappoint. On February 27th, a 1503 was achieved by Slippery Nip. He gained time early thanks to a faster LBLJ, and managed to match Dowski's speed in making the Tsukishima cycle on the platforms. In Womp's Fortress, he gained time by hitting cannonless first try, partially thanks to a setup by Salt and Ginger to adjust the camera and clip in the wall more consistently.
Nice.
He maintained this 4-second lead until the second MIPS clip, which took him 2 tries, but gained about a second back on the BLJs.
Nice.
That worked out to a 1503, just ahead of Dowski and enough to make Slippery Nip the new record holder.
He could have gotten a
The community
1501.
was beginning to approach a barrier. They were now just 4 seconds away from a sub-15 minute run.
God.
The last time a minute barrier had been broken was almost 9 years prior,
It's almost
with Akira's
oh my God.
1554. Now, a run in the 14s was seeming inevitable. But what time saves were left? Well, looking at the 1503 record, the big potential time saves were the 4 seconds lost due to the MIPS clip, and
Yeah.
a few seconds that could be saved on the BLJs.
Yeah.
But beyond that, there were still fractions of a second to squeeze out all over. On LBLJ, Lethal Lava Land, Bowser in the Sky, all from subtle, faster strategies or improving movement. Those time saves all added up to a run well under 15 minutes. but someone still had to take it there. And one player who would make a big push was Aki. After getting a 1503 of his own, Aki would get a very promising run going on May 1st, 2020. It was about even going into the MIPS clips, where he messed up the first one instead of the second one. Still, a strong Fire C and BLJs kept him just ahead going into Bowser in the Sky. And there, he was able to make a faster elevator cycle called Monamo Cycle by making his movement as tight as possible, including an incredible triple jump dive onto the platform. 3 throws later, Aki was so close to a sub 15.
God damn.
1 more second to go. Aki pushed onward over the coming days and weeks, getting great runs on pace that eventually died to something. The biggest culprit, of course, were the BLJs.
Damn.
Getting Mario to catch on the stairs seemed almost random at times. If you didn't get him to catch within a few jumps, it was run over, and even making it through would usually result in losing time. But Aki knew sub 15 was within reach. He just needed one good run past the BLJs. And on May 10th, 2020, Aki had this run. It was about as close to a perfect run as you could get. Chances like this don't come along very often. Now, more than ever, the BLJs needed to happen. They didn't need to be very good, he just needed something decent.
Damn, that was a good BLJ.
Or he could get near perfect BLJs.
Damn!
This was his chance for the run of a lifetime. Here we go.
Oh. Oh. Fuck. Fuck. Just slight movement. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yo! Oh, right there. Oh my god.
By the skin of his teeth, Aki had pulled out a 1459, the world's first sub 15.
That's so good.
Obviously, as good as it was, this run still had some room for
improvement. Yeah, no.
He lost 6 seconds on the last split for mistakes in Bowser in the Sky. But still, that was it for big time losses. It was an incredible run up until then, and it was daunting to try and beat. For the next several months, there was little action at the top of the leaderboard. The top 3 stayed in the same spots, and 2021 came around with just Aki in the elusive sub 15 club. See this guy down here? This is Kano, and he was 6th place in the world with a 1517. He was considered an elite runner of the game, but generally not considered a world record contender. 18 seconds was a lot of difference for a short category like 16 star, and there were several people between him and the top spot. Well, in February 2021,
I am appreciative of that setup.
On Twitch,
I am very appreciative of that setup.
He wasn't going to end this stream until he set a 16-star world record. He wasn't going to be playing all the time. He'd still live his life and sleep on a normal schedule, but his stream would stay live the entire time.
Damn.
He knew he'd have to do some work given how far he was from the record, but Kano didn't care.
That is
he wanted to be the record holder.
Impressive
so
and admirable.
He got to work. Life went on, and Kano kept streaming 16-star. By March, his time was down to 1513.
Nice.
By April, it was 1507.
Damn.
His stream kept going. He was improving his skills and getting close to a record level. By May, he was starting to get really close, entering the top 3 with a 15:03. All the while, the length of the stream climbed higher and higher, going past 1,000 and then past 2,000 hours, until finally, on June 12th, 2021, Kano had this run.
This is so
He actually
recent.
gained some time early thanks to a new strategy in shifting Sandland by Circle Mark 994, but lost a bit on MIPS from slower setups for the clips. He bled a bit more in Fire Sea from an accidental ground pound,
Damn.
and his BLJs weren't as clean as Aki's, but he knew the time he could save in Bowser in the Sky. After a clean stage, 3 throws separated him from a record.
Holy shit.
What? Yes!
Damn. That is the face of complete and utter victory.
More than 3,000 hours of streaming finally put behind him. Kano went from 6th to 1st, a 15:17 to a 14:58. An unbelievable push that paid off in the end.
My god.
And Kano could finally hit the end stream button. As the summer of 2021 went on, a few people were going for a sub 14.
Oh, this is so recent.
One of the most notable players was Ouija. He had set a record 3 years prior with a 15:17, but hadn't been able to replicate it. Still, he was considered a top runner. For years, he would continue lowering his personal best, staying within seconds of the record at all times.
Nice.
However, he never was able to take that top spot again, despite coming close on several occasions. At least until July 4th, 2021.
Damn. That's so good. Oh. God, that's fucking substantial.
After 39 months, thousands of attempts, and numerous personal bests in the top 5, Ouija had finally done it again. He had beaten all the rest, and had taken back the world record.
I didn't get it.
Dude, just drink time.
No, I didn't get it.
No, oh my god! Ouija, you fool!
When Ouija stopped to scroll through the text boxes, Mario was facing away from the star. All he had to do was turn around and jump into the star, but he accidentally jumped forward and lost about a second.
Damn.
It cost him the record. To this day, he's still trying to get it back.
Damn.
But that's not the last run to talk about, because in August 2021, a runner would come back to snag one final record.
Damn. Actual summoning salt song. Who the fuck is this? I'm curious. Nice. That is a nice BLJ. That is a nice BLJ. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh my god. That's
So, who was the runner? Well, it wasn't Ouija, it wasn't Aki, Dowski, or Kano. There's only one username it could have been.
Slippery Nib. Oh.
Alright, cool.
What a fucking...
If you
What a
enjoyed the
fucking
video,
legend.
I'd really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. It
Yeah.
really helps me out. And check out the pinned comment for links to people who helped with research and the runners
Nice.
in the video. Thanks.
That is so, excuse me, so impressive. That's that is an insanely impressive feat. But like, I'd like, so like this record is gonna be beaten like by next year, like during next year at least. Like this record isn't staying. But I mean, Slippery Nip took it back and he saw his opportunity, so don't blame him. I like to imagine that that bit definitely was added at the last minute. Just because Slippery Nip did it.